Brother and sister, together we'll make it through. Someday a spirit will lift you, take you there. I know you've been hurting, but I'll be waiting to be there for you. And I'll be there just helping you out whenever I come. Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free to feel good. To feel good. We are a family, we must stay together. Helping each other instead of just wasting time. And now is the moment we reach out to someone. It's up to you. And everyone is sharing their hope. And love will come through. Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free. Everybody's free. Everybody's free. And brother and sister, together we'll make it through.
Hello, Manchester, you gorgeous lot. How you doing? They're average, I assume, from that. It's been a while, hasn't it? I asked, how are you doing?
Way!
Give it some welly. It has been a long weekend, hasn't it? My name is Titi Bang, and my pronouns are she, her. I am wearing a gorgeous white fluoro flowery fantasy, looking like an absolute goddess, if I do say so myself, for a Monday anyway.
Absolutely, and I am cheddar gorgeous, and I will have all of the pronouns. I'm happy with any of them. And I am wearing a skin-tight, yet still very classy, wonderful red jumpsuit with a stoned, beautiful corset leading up to my fine, bold, orbed head. Yes, and just like those instructions may help, I'm a little bit visually impaired, so I'm going to put my glasses on if that's all right. You don't mind, do you? No, because it's Monday, let's be honest. It's been a long weekend, hasn't it, folks? It really has. And it's lovely to be able to see you all here. And you're not in tiny rectangles like I'm used to seeing you. It's quite fabulous. Although your looks have always been a little bit square, haven't they, Titi?
Thank you, Cheddar. We are free at last. How's everyone feeling being free right now? Let's celebrate freedom tonight.
This weekend, Manchester has welcomed us all into the Garden of Freedom to dance, to reconnect, and to celebrate life. We may not have been able to march in the same way that we normally do, but we need to remember that just being visible and there as LGBTQ people is an act of defiance in itself.
And we hope you have all had a fabulous weekend celebrating in the Garden of Freedom. I don't know about you, Cheds, but I am pooped.
Oh, I'm done. But we're not done yet. I'm very, very happy to be here indeed. But the good thing about partying when you're online, and it actually, you can, aside from up here, underneath, You can have your sloggies on, you can have your trackies on, you can have your chamomile tea. This is a different level of exhaustion, isn't it?
Oh, I love a brew in drag, babe. Actually, now you come to mention it, should we say hello to all of our gorgeous people watching from home?
Oh, have we got some?
Hello, gorgeous
Where's the
people.
cameras? Oh,
there's little cameras everywhere.
Hello.
Everywhere. We're constantly being watched. As you know, it has been a difficult year, and for many people within our community, they still do not feel comfortable or safe enough to be here with us in person. But I think they equally deserve a huge hello, so please give them a cheer.
But shall we find out a little bit more about the wonderful audience we've got here? Because it is so nice to have a group of people to sap the energy of directly on stage, which is what we like to do. Why don't we find out a bit about you, demographically?
Who are you?
Who are you?
What are you here for? Why? Have we got any gorgeous lady lovers in the building tonight? Building? Garden? Give me a cheer, all the lesbians!
And how about my lovely gay men? Any gay men out there? Wee.
What about all the often underappreciated bisexuals?
And I think we can all agree that we must not forget our trans siblings and all the wonderful MB people out there.
All the people on the edges. And of course, we must, I guess, they deserve it. Give a big cheer to all of our straight friends and allies. Woo! All of our cisgendered allies. We love you too.
The sissies, I like to call them.
Sissies.
The sissies.
It's very you, isn't it?
It works, doesn't it? It's very me.
Ultimately, we are here as one big family. So please give us one big cheer for the queer family that we have here tonight. Come on.
Oh, God, it's tingly, isn't it? It's really lifted my spirits. I feel really in the mood now to celebrate life with these wonderful people.
Me too. I'm ready to celebrate freedom.
Celebrate life, celebrate freedom. Woohoo!
Because after this year, celebrating life and joy is more important than ever. But the Candlelit Vigil is much more than a celebration. It's also a chance for us to remember and reflect.
We've got an amazing group of artists that are going to help us do that tonight. They're going to take us on a very special journey of remembrance and of celebration, discovery and reflection. Kicking us off, we've just had the Manchester Lesbian and Gay Chorus and the lovely Passmore. Let's get a show of appreciation for them, Manchester.
Brother and sister, together we'll make it through.
Everybody's free. Seems like a funny word to start with, doesn't it, for the show tonight? Because over the last 16 months, many of us have had to endure some of those freedoms being taken away and having to stay at home. For some, a real welcome break from modern life, a chance to reflect and clean out your sock drawer or whatever. But for some people, it's been very, very difficult. Physically, emotionally, mentally. The feeling of being trapped. And for some, being at home isn't as safe as perhaps it should be. It's the opposite of free.
And then from around the world, we see images of people fleeing conflict and oppression, their freedoms being taken away. We remember all of the countries where people from our community are not allowed the freedom that we have. Sometimes freedom for everybody can feel unattainable.
But the March for Freedom does not and cannot stop. The novelist Toni Morrison reminds us that the function of freedom is to free someone else.
Manchester, let's not forget that the small actions that we take to support one another in these difficult times pave the way for a tomorrow that is more free than today.
So we want to invite you, Manchester, tonight to join us in this moment of reflection, where maybe we can imagine and dream about a future where we're all free to live and to love without limits. Welcome
to the Candlelit Vigil.
segment, the rest of it, please.
And action! Hello, everybody. My name is Tito Bone, and I am your average, blind, non-binary, bisexual drag king. Hold for applause. Thank you! Now, first and foremost, for anybody who needs a little visual description, you should know that I am extremely attractive. I'm standing before you a strapping 5'3" tall. I'm slim, I'm white, I have spiky brown hair with little flecks of gray in it. Hashtag daddy vibes. I did my makeup myself, which obviously for me as a blind person basically means I'm fucking inspirational. I have a glitter beard that gradiates between teal, purple, and blue. My eyebrows match my beard. That was planned. I have pink eyeshadow, pink lips, and I am wearing my purple rhinestoned bow tie and my black sequined tailcoat, which happens to be sleeveless, so I can take you to the gun show and show you my muscles. Now, all of you out there, all of you, all 5,000 of you in Manchester, you are such a beautiful audience. And look, I know you've been at this for a couple days. You might be a bit tired. So, I'm just here to quickly beam in and give you a little insight about what it's like to smell the world through my nose, Because the thing is, as a blind, non-binary, bisexual drag king, it took me a long time to figure out my queer identity, my gender identity. It took me a long time to find drag and be confident in doing drag. And I'm doing drag right now. I'm doing it right now, and I am doing it very well, if I do say so myself. But when I started my journey through all of this, there were a lot of barriers for me. And I think it's important to talk about them so we can acknowledge how to make trans joy something that's intersectional and make trans freedom and trans resistance something that everybody, as much as possible, can take part in. So I'm going to give you a little insight into this, and it's so important that I need to do it in song. Because the thing is, right, you should ask yourself, are you including deaf, disabled, and neurodiverse people in your communities? Are you thinking about access? Because when I started, it was like, look at this club. Isn't it neat? So much potential for people to meet. Wouldn't you think they're the queers who have everything? Look at this stage for stories untold. But how many non-disabled cis white gay men can one venue hold? Looking around here, you think, sure, they've got everything. They've got costume and makeup aplenty. They've got lace fronts and glitter galore. You want talent? They've got plenty. But for me, there's no deal. I'm stuck at the door. I want to be where the drag creatures are. I want to learn how they do their dancing. Why is it so hard to include things like, what's the word? Audio description? Lip syncing won't really get me far. If vision's required to learn that drag skill, access should really be more than a, what's the phrase? Buzzword. Not everyone talks, not everyone runs, but that doesn't mean we don't have any fun. The disabled aren't free, but I wish we could be part of your world. What would I give if I could live beyond these barriers? What would I pay to spend a day with my own drag clan? It might seem quite grand, but understand that I'm not asking for your whole kingdom. Bright, young-ish drag king, sick of waiting, ready to go. And I'm ready to know what the drag people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers, like, what is spirit gum and why does it, what's the word, burn? When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore the drag in the club? Dramatic freeze. The disabled aren't free. But I wish we could be part of your world. And now, I shall perform one of the major tenets of drag, the reveal. Off comes the tail coach to show you my clams. And by the way, by clams, I mean clam-shaped, like, nipple pasties covering my nips. And they're really shiny and they're beautiful. Boing, 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 boing. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely rest of your time and the event. Sending you so much love.
TV,
when the TV
tells a story, and I see another black face, I am reminded, although we were born here, we cannot stay in this place.
Tell me what I must do for you to feel what I go through. Blinded eyes are what we are sold. Hands reach out with nothing to hold. Hearts and minds together as one. We share the same air, earth, and sun. Tell me what I must do to get through to you.
I raise our voices in the hopes that you hear. See, we have more similarities than you know, and it's not our differences we should fear. We comply with lies and the loss of compassion, on the brink of self-destruction, leading us to no longer function. And as we make excuses and wonder who's to blame, no one ever looks inside this reluctance to change. Arrogance, a stain, like the tears of those we have heard again. A tightness around my chest, I need to breathe. And when?
Let it go. I don't wanna be here no more. Let me go. This is not what I signed up for. Let me go.
Let me go.
I don't wanna be here no more. Let me go.
Let me go.
This is not what I signed up for. Let me go.
Let me go.
Let me go.
Let me go.
Oh, let me go.
Let me go.
This is not what I signed up for. Let me go.
Let me go.
Oh, let me go.
Let me go. Let me go.
You're right, Manchester. How you all feeling? Woo!
She said, how you all feeling? It's like such a panto thing, isn't it, that people do hosting, they come and they're like, but how? Where? again.
How are you feeling?
How about you at home? How are you doing?
Hello, people at home. They can't answer, Cheddar.
Oh, right.
They
It's
can't
not two-way
answer.
yet, is
no,
it?
No, they can't.
200
answer
years
that.
still.
Yeah.
It's all good. Don't worry about
Less
it.
than 200. I reckon 10. 10 years they'll be answering. Don't you worry. It's really important, actually, tonight that we do all look out for each other, because the vigil and this kind of commemorative moment can be very hard for some of us. So we really, really have to look out for each other.
Absolutely. I think it's fair to say that we all come here for very, very different reasons.
For some, it's about coming to remember some of those close to us that we have lost to HIV.
Or for some, it's to another illness or to old age.
For some, tonight is about remembering those that they may have lost to violence.
And for others, it's a chance to remember that the people we continue to lose around the world in our fight for freedom. Later, we're going to remember all of those people through a minute's silence.
But what is loss without life? Loss reminds us that celebrating life is so important. So let's do that. Should we do it?
Yeah,
Let's
do it.
raise the roof for life.
Let's do it. But, you know, everybody knows how a minute's silence works, don't they, right? You know, when you're remembering people, you take a moment to remember, and we have the beautiful silent moment together. But when we want to celebrate life, what we like to do here at the Vigil is make as much noise as possible. To literally raise the roof out. I mean, there isn't a roof out there, but you get what I mean, right? So we're going to do it. We're going to do a minute of just cheering and really allowing ourselves to celebrate.
Are you ready?
I'll get a timer. Hang on. You thought
I don't know if they're ready. Are you ready?
Hang on.
You've got 1 minute to celebrate and let out all of those anxieties, all of those feelings, all of the happiness, pent-up emotion you might have. Cheddar, have you got
I'm finding the app. You just thought I was checking my messages, didn't I? I've got it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
1 minute.
I'm ready. Okay, you ready?
Have you all got the stamina after 3 days of partying?
Come on.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo!
You're halfway there. You're halfway there. Come on, keep going.
Come on.
Don't run out of speed yet.
Stamp your feet. Clap your hands. Whoop. Holla, because you are alive.
Come on. Still 15 seconds to go, folks.
Come on. 15 seconds.
Dun, 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 dun,
I want
dun,
every bit of oxygen to come out of your lungs, Manchester. You can do it!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You are gorgeous.
Oh my word, that almost blew my wig off if I'd have had one.
That's my line, Cheddar.
Oh, sorry.
I think that's the loudest they've ever been.
No, it was good.
Oh, wow.
I feel ready.
I think they kind of earn something special. That was pretty amazing. Because you did such a great job at that, we've got a very, very special message for you. Are you ready for it? Hit it!
Hello everyone, happy Manchester Pride.
Hello, beautiful Manchester.
Happy Manchester Pride.
Good evening, Manchester Pride.
Happy Manchester Pride.
I'm Callum Scott Howells and I played Colin in It's a Sin.
I am Ollie Alexander. I play Richie Tozer in It's a Sin.
I am Amari Douglas and I played Roscoe in It's a Sin.
My name is Nathaniel Hall and I play Donald Bassett in It's a Sin.
I'm David Carlisle and I play Gloria in It's a Sin.
My name is Nathaniel Curtis and I play Ash in Channel 4's It's a Sin. Happy Manchester Pride, everyone.
Sending you all a big kutch. I hope you've all had an amazing time the last 4 days celebrating in the Garden of Freedom. We love Manchester, we love it. We filmed It's a Sin there. We had loads of fun in Canal Street. But yeah, sending you all a big curse.
What a year we have all had. You know, this year has been so difficult for so many of us in so many different ways.
But our community is strong and powerful, and our march for freedom continues.
Early this year, when It's a Sin came out, we were all completely overwhelmed by the love and the support that you guys showed us. And we knew that the show was going to be special when we read the script. However, I don't think any of us had any idea of the incredible impact it would make.
Thank you for all of your love.
Thank you for trusting us, for trusting the whole team with your stories, with our community stories.
Thank you to all the incredible charities and activists who kept the conversation going afterwards to tell the nation that HIV has changed, to spread the U=U message, to educate people about PrEP and to tackle HIV stigma and discrimination.
You know, we're so grateful to have been in the It's a Sin family, and more importantly, I'm so grateful to all of the amazing things I learned from amazing charities like the George House Trust. Obviously, we've come so far, but there's still a bit to go.
Although we aren't there with you in the park tonight, we are there with you in spirit and thinking of you as you celebrate our freedom and all the people that came before us and fought so hard for that freedom.
So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Manchester. We love you so very, very much.
Sending loads of love, a big curse.
We love you, Manchester. Stay safe. Take care. I wish that I could be there celebrating with you. Lots of love to you.
I love you all. Have a great night. Happy Pride.
Bye.
Can't wait to come back to Manchester. I really can't. I love you. Bye. Ta-da. La.
Manchester, we love you.
Okay, so you want to see the group chat trying to make that happen? Now, I'm sorry that I couldn't get them all here tonight to celebrate with us, but I live down the road in Stockport, so I was just a 192 bus ride away. What an absolute honour it is to be here with you all tonight. Now, you know, when you're asked to give a speech at important events like this, the gravitas of the occasion often leads people to say things like, I stand here today on the shoulders of giants, or we're only here because of the remarkable efforts of those that came before us. And of course, these statements are true. But what It's a Sin showed us is that those who came before us, no matter how brave or inspirational or deserving of our adoration and respect, were just people. People like you and like me. Ordinary people. People whose lives and whose loved ones' lives were cut tragically short by a pandemic that, unlike today's, was met with indifference, fear, and even hatred. And I'd like to stand in front of you today and say, look at how far we've come. Just look at what we have achieved. And yes, we have achieved so much. Although the amount that we have had to fight doesn't always feel equitable against those achievements. Still, today, 40 years into this epidemic, HIV is an illness of stigma and shame that forces many people into lives of secrecy and fear. Let me show you something. This is me in a cream tuxedo in 2003, age 16, on the day of my high school prom. Thank you. Now, I was head boy at my comprehensive high school in Stockport, living up to my reputation at an early age. Actually, I wasn't out when this picture was taken, but I wasn't far off. It's strange looking back at this photo, because despite this being a day when I felt completely free, my whole life stretching out in front of me, this was the day when everything changed. He was older than me, mid-20s maybe, tanned, bleached tips in his hair, ripped bootleg jeans, definitely gay. We met on a park bench in Stockport, and we chatted, and we dated, and we kissed, and He was so sweet. And my age wasn't an issue to him, although looking back, I think maybe it should have been. I found out 2 weeks before my 17th birthday. Just a child, now thrown into a very, very adult world. I didn't really tell anyone, not even my family. Believe me, for 15 years, I tried to say it out loud. But the words, they always just got stuck. They choked me. Then in 2012, I found the strength to write a letter to the boy in the cream tuxedo, the 16-year-old version of myself, and I was going to read it to you all here in this park on this very day, on this very stage, all those years ago in 2012. But I couldn't. And I stood right there, and I mean literally right there, sobbing uncontrollably as an actor read it out on my behalf. Silenced by stigma, trapped by shame. But you know, in other ways, I still felt free, or at least I thought so. I was loud and proud, and I dressed in bright clothes, and I marched in parades, and I wrote letters to my MP, and I volunteered for LGBTQ plus charities. On the surface, I was free. But when nobody was looking, I changed. I punished myself. I made myself sick. I took risks that I really should not have taken. And I hurt myself and I hurt other people because I did not think I was worthy of love. In 2017, I caught myself in the mirror, still awake 2 days after a house party. Unrecognizable. You see, I thought I'd been living my best queer life. Parties, sex, alcohol, drugs, they're all fun things if you're actually pursuing them for fun. Not so much if you're pursuing them to mask pain. You know, I look about at our community as we celebrate with pride, but behind closed doors, I know many of us are drowning in shame. You know, when I caught myself in the mirror on that fateful day in 2017, I vowed to begin telling a new story to myself and to others. So I did. I began telling my story. On small stages at first, in schools and colleges and at staff training days with the positive speakers at George House Trust. Then a letter to the people that mattered most, my family. And in 2018, the story moved to a real stage when I performed my solo show first time, here for the first time in Manchester. First time took me to other stages across the country, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and on tour across England. And before I knew it, stages were turning into screens, and I was honoured to be part of the most remarkable piece of television history. It's a Sin. The only openly HIV-positive member of the cast. No more actors reading letters for me! You know, for so many years I believed I was free. Free of shame, full of pride, but I wasn't. I tell you something now, Manchester. Tonight on this stage, I feel as free as I ever have done. And that freedom did not come from marching in parades. It did not come from signing a petition. It did not come from dressing in bright, colourful clothes. It came from within. It only came when I forgave myself. It only came when I forgave others. You know, we all make a mess of our lives. You're going to make a mess of yours. You're going to make a mess of yours. You're going to make a mess of yours. And you, well, you're going to royally screw yours up. And you know what? That's okay. Because you're enough. Free yourself with forgiveness. These days, I look forwards more. But when I do look back, I remember I am one of the lucky ones. I survived. You know, people often ask me if I could say anything to my 16-year-old self, to the boy in the cream tuxedo, what would I say? What would you say to your younger self? I know he's scared of who he's becoming, of who he will become. And I know that he desperately, desperately wants to say sorry. Sorry for running away. Sorry for being scared. Sorry for fucking it all up. But there's no need to apologize. Whether it's a chance meeting on a bench that changes everything, a life-changing diagnosis, a mistake or regret that we just can't seem to let go of. Remember, we all make a mess of our lives. Forgive yourself and set yourself free.
You run away, you are a heart bursting into color. Who's the distant dreams only a flame? Holding a heavy blaze under a skyline and undercover, carrying all our lives under a name. the same. Holding a heavy weight under a skyline and undercover, carrying all our lives under a name.
Hello, everyone. Hi. There's a word for everything. Even things that you might not think have their own definition, like the distinct smell of dust after rain. The word for that is petrichor. I learnt that from an episode of Doctor Who. There's a word for you. There are a million words for you. But the one that you start with is your name. The word for me is mandla. In my first language, it's also the word for power. I chose it because the one I had before didn't fit right in my black, queer Zimbabwean existence. The one I had before didn't feel very queer. No offense to any black queer people who happen to be called Bridget, that's just not me. What does your name mean? Bridget also happens to mean power. So I think of changing my name as a gift that I gave myself. Not much change there in terms of meaning, but a simple altering of one word flipped the pace of my steps, and now I dance through the world instead of just walking. Changing my name was an act of freedom. Words are my thing. I find them so fascinating. Sometimes one word will have several different meanings, and sometimes words don't exist, and sometimes words aren't quite enough. Some words scare us. They make us jump out of our skin. We look away from them because we don't want to see ourselves, or we're not quite ready yet to be that visible. Freedom is often hidden behind a wall that you take an axe to and smash into a million little bits. Stomp each and every last piece into ash. You will be told to keep your feet pressed firmly on the ground, not to rock the boat or ruffle any feathers, but keep stomping. I dare you. Freedom is just another word for nothing to lose. I think of being Mandla as being free. Mandla exists outside of every binary. Mandla is created by me with my survival in mind every step of the way. Being Mandla is how I am alive. And I think of life as a journey with a series of ever-altering destinations, because you never really find yourself. You're always creating yourself, but you keep walking. Sometimes waiting, but I hope you dance more than you walk. Some words are heavy. 5 letters and 2 syllables can still be too much to carry. The word grief looks so small when it's written down, but looking at it, hearing it, even just thinking about it sends the full and fiery force of 5 simple letters all the way through the parts of your body where your feelings sit. My feelings mostly sit in my stomach. Grief can be spoken in 2 different contexts, because someone giving you a bit of grief isn't the same as grieving someone, but you're using the same word. And I think we grieve more than just death. Any form of loss is distressing, but remember that grief is a natural response to loss. The ability to feel is what makes us human. Let yourself feel. And look for joy in your memories. I believe that there's a piece of us in every moment that we have ever encountered. Memories are power. You can travel back in time just by looking in your mind, and I always tell myself that remembering is a choice. Technically, all of us have lived our whole lives so that we can share this moment right now. To share this moment of freedom, this moment of connection, this moment of community, of chosen family, to share this moment of remembrance. I invite you all to light your candles with me as we take a moment to remember those we have lost. Oh, wow. Freedom is a gift. Freedom is a right. Freedom is a fight. So, With joy in our hearts, we remember those who came before us.
It doesn't hurt me. Do you wanna feel how it feels? Do you wanna know that it doesn't hurt me? Do you wanna hear about the deal that I'm making? It's you and me. And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. And if I only could, oh, I would. You don't wanna hurt me, but see how deep the bullet lies. On the way, I'm tearing you asunder. There is thunder in our hearts. Is there so much hate for the ones we love? Tell me we both matter, don't we? It's you. It's you and me. You and me won't be unhappy if I only could. I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. And if I only could, oh, I would. Darling, let me steal this moment from you now. Come on, angel, come on, darling. Let's exchange the experience. If I only could, I'd make a deal with God. I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God. I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill with no problems. If I only could be running up that hill. If I only could, I'd be running up that hill.
The Garden of Freedom. It feels almost obscene to talk about my freedom when my sisters and brothers in Afghanistan just had theirs taken away. When our brothers and sisters in Russia and Poland and Hungary have had theirs taken away. When there are still 11 countries in which our brothers and sisters have their lives taken away legally for being who they are, for breathing while LGBTQIA+. That's called genocide, by the way. When in my birth country, more Black and Latinx trans sisters have had their lives taken away so far this year alone than in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2019. For breathing while being the only people they could be. When our brothers and sisters in Liverpool, London, Birmingham, here in Manchester still get beaten up for being the only people we can be. Freedom is always just over the horizon, but that doesn't mean you don't keep marching towards it. So I'll talk a little about my freedom here at home. And the first thing I'll say is my mama didn't walk with Martin Luther King so some doorman can tell me what it looks like to be a lesbian. And my mama didn't listen every week to Malcolm X so me and my global majority mates can get dissed and ignored by the waitstaff in some bar. Or so that we can go online and see no fats, no femmes, no blacks from our own community. Or so that when we bring up these little facts, we get called angry or aggressive. Forgive me, I've got to turn the page here. Is the vigil the right time to talk about these things, to bring up these kinds of things? Thank you. Because I think when better to talk about discrimination and isolation and the destruction that that causes. Have we forgotten the 80s? No, that's why we're here. Have we forgotten about the discrimination and isolation and rejection and ignorance and fear that meant people didn't care when we were the ones dying? I was a reporter, biomedical research reporter, and I was in the room when they announced the very first AIDS treatment, AZT. I cried. I was relieved. That was, way back in the 80s. So many already dying, and nothing helped. I ran after the lead researcher, chased him out of the room to ask if I should tell my friends to get onto an AZT trial. And he said no. Not unless they were already dying, because it was that toxic. 3 years ago, I worked on a project here with Black Africans in Manchester living with HIV who were so afraid of anybody finding out that they were positive, so afraid of being rejected by friends and family and everyone they knew, even though they were on their meds. And you know that means undetectable equals untransmissible. What? Yes, you equals you. What we dreamed of in the 80s and kept dreaming through all that death, we have it now. Meds that work. But my African brothers and sisters still live like it's 1987. Until they're free, how can we be? Freedom is always just over the horizon, but that doesn't mean we stop marching towards it. For myself, it was easier, much easier to come out as a lesbian than to come out as a suicidal depressive with borderline personality disorder. Much easier to stand up and be counted with my fellow LGBTQIA+ folks than to admit I can't keep doing theater shows that mean I relive my traumas. That I finally, at 61, understand that I matter more than a show. So, thank you. Thank you. We matter more than that. And so many of us still hide that part of ourselves. Don't want to be a downer, you know? When I'm sickest, I go clubbing a lot. How many of us are dying out there on the dance floor? Looking good, though. I'm a really good dancer. But now, here tonight, we are in the garden of freedom. And it's as if each one of us, as if our skin, our hair, our eyes were all made of crystal, so that any tiny shard of light, the lights from your candles now, could set our whole bodies on fire so that people could see us on the other side of the world. That's what it means. The tiniest bit of freedom, that tiny bit of hope shared. Nothing can hide that. And as a black woman here in the West, I come from those who survived. We are the ones who survived the Middle Passage. We survived slavery. We survived Reconstruction. We survived segregation. We survived Reagan. We survived Clinton. We survived Trump. And we here, and those who can see us tonight, see our hope, see our light. We survived Thatcher. We survived Section 28. We survived until PrEP. And now we're surviving another pandemic because we know how. We rebuild, we renew, we connect. And now we can show everybody how, not to simply survive, but to thrive. Freedom is always just over the horizon. And we're marching, we're dancing. We're dancing all the way. So hit it, guys.
Thank you so much, you gorgeous people of Manchester, and of course, all of the lovely people at home as well.
Should we make a little bit of noise for all of the wonderful artists you have seen, the amazing speakers, all of the team and the crew that have made tonight happen. Thank you so, so much.
Beautiful people of Manchester, please look after yourselves and look after each other, not just at Pride, but all year round.
And as you make your way into the night and you disperse, keep those precious words of Toni Morrison close to your heart. The function of freedom is to set someone else free.
Thank you so much. Stay safe, gorgeous folks. And good night.
Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's together we'll make it.